Macros, Mindset, and Muscles.
I'm Coach James.
And I'm Coach Brittany.
We're here to give you the truth about health and fitness.
No gimmicks, no bullshit, just facts. Hey, Phoenix fam.
Hey.
We know it has been a very long time since we have done a podcast, but we're here. We're not going to make excuses. Business is busy, and there's all kinds of tasks that go along with that. But we are super excited to talk about this topic today. But before we get started, we're going to catch you up what's been going on with Phoenix Transformations. A few months ago, we hired a assistant coach, Coach Jessie. We brought her on with us, and she is now accepting clients. Of course, you know, we have limited availability on our rosters, but we are happy to talk with you, talk about your goals.
Jessie's awesome. I love Jessie.
Jessie is awesome.
Jessie is awesome.
She fits in really well with us. We have like weekly meetings and FaceTime calls and Mario Kart parties.
Yeah, we go live and play a little Mario Kart with her. It's fun.
It is fun. On top of the new coach, we have a resource center that just went live last week. We're awesome. Really excited about that. We've been working really hard on making resources for our clients, and we wanted to make those resources accessible for everybody else. So we decided to do a low-cost subscription for our client resources. Right now, there is 20 recipe books in there. Each one of those recipe books has a bunch of recipes, and I'm not going to get into all the categories, but there's a category for just about everything.
Yeah, like one pot meals. I love it.
Everything except fad diets. You won't find ketogenic plans or things like that. Yeah. But you will find like beef, chicken. You will find plant-based. This is
nonfiction around here.
You will find pescatarian, gluten-free, because there are people with celiac disease that should avoid gluten. We have dairy-free for those who are lactose intolerant. We have 2 ebooks in there so far. We have our supplement guide and our meal prep guide. We have a worksheet in there that's going to help you dig a little bit deeper, some mindset work. If you're not willing to dig deep in this journey and ask yourself the hard questions, then you probably will struggle along the way.
So many more things that we've got planned. Like that's just scratching the surface. That's nothing compared to what's coming.
That's just what's in there right now.
Yeah.
What's in the works? We have a protein guide that's coming. It's going to be another ebook. We have a workout builder guide that's coming. What else? Compliance, like the importance of consistency. NEAT, all about non-exercise activity thermogenesis, why it's important. What else do we got?
Immunity protocols for when you get sick, supplementation, risk, all that.
Sickness protocols. We have so much coming to that. It's going to be an invaluable resource, and it'll help you at any stage of your journey. So now that we've done a shameless plug, we will get started with our topic, which is...
the cost of getting lean.
Thanks, James.
You're very welcome.
So the cost of getting lean, which also comes along with like setting realistic expectations, knowing what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, things like that.
Yeah, but everything has a cost, and we're going to tell you about the cost of this one.
Yep. So everybody that comes to us, ultimately, in some way, they want to change their physique, right? They want to be thinner. They want to wear a smaller size clothes. They want visible abs. They want more definition. Like they want all these things. Some of them are more extreme and they don't realize the cost that comes associated with those goals. You know, if your goal is to have visible abs, then you can't eat like an asshole all the time. Unless you are just one of those genetic people that always have abs, which there are some people out there. But for most people, that's not the case. So, and most people is what we're talking about. We're talking about those, like our clients.
Yeah.
If you want abs, there is a huge sacrifice that comes with that.
There's an amount of discomfort that you're going to deal with.
A very large amount of discomfort.
Oh, yeah, with abs, it's much more.
And then not even just getting to the abs, but keeping those abs too. It's not a sustainable thing for most people.
Yeah.
I'm going to say most people again, because I know some people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, well, I know so-and-so that always has abs.
Yeah.
Well, this is different. We're talking about most people. And remember, like, what you see on social media isn't always how a person is.
Yeah, a lot of these people, they will diet and get to a state of leanness. They will take a lot of videos, a lot of photos, a lot of different outfits, and they will post them throughout the year. And so they're not, I'm not going to say everybody, but for the majority, people do not stay lean year round. And if they do, they're definitely not very happy.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and talk about abs since we're already there. If someone comes to us wanting, like, I want visible abs. Okay, well, realistically, like, this is where you are. This is where you want to be. What are you willing to do to get there?
Yeah.
Are you willing to do what it takes? Because that's going to be a lot of bland food. You're not going to be adding a ton of extra fat and a ton of extra calories. Your cutting is probably going to get pretty steep. Your cardio might get really high and you're going to be tired. It's going to take sacrifice. And if you're not willing to do that, then maybe you need to reassess your goal.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are like, I want to get abs. What do I do to get abs? And they think it's exercise. And that's the least, that's you already have them.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because that is a big thing. I see it every day on social media. Do these 5 exercises to get abs.
Yeah.
Or do these exercises to burn fat, or do these exercises to get slimmer legs or more toned legs. Like, no exercise can target body fat. Obviously, you can target muscle groups, which will help the muscles grow in the right nutritional situations, and they'll get stronger.
Yeah.
But you will not target the fat that covers those muscles.
Yeah, you can do sit-ups and ab exercises all day long, but if you eat like an asshole, you will not see them.
Yeah.
Ever.
Ab work does not equate to visible abs.
Just equates to leanness.
Yeah. With talking about the cost of getting lean, diet is everything. And the leaner you want to get, the more sacrifices you have to make is what it really comes down to. That's why bodybuilding is so hard, because most people are not willing to go to those lengths and extremes to get on stage to get that lean.
Yeah.
Most people love the way a competitor looks. They love how lean and toned they look, and and I use tone because it's a term that everybody is familiar with. I don't personally like the word, but everybody understands when I say tone what I'm talking about.
Looks good.
Yeah. They look athletic, they look fit, and they look, quote unquote, healthy.
Yeah.
But most competitors that step on stage at their peak leanness are not healthy.
And also, most people, they'll work out through the week. They'll kind of mind how they eat. They'll do like an 80-20 rule, which is all are good things. But to get to that level of leanness, the level of consistency that you have to get to, you do not get to take weekends off. For you to get to a level of leanness, you do not mess up on your diet. You just can't.
No, you have to be consistent. And it's more like like I said, the leaner you want to get, the more you have to sacrifice. So if your goal is abs, then you're looking, instead of 80-20, you're looking at 99-1.
Yeah.
1% margin of error there. So you have no wiggle room, and nutrition is king. No amount of cardio that you do is gonna cover up bad nutrition.
Yeah, cancel it out.
Yeah, it's not gonna cancel it out. So, you can take your weekends off and then be like, oh, I'm gonna, double up on my workouts and my cardio to do that. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-mm.
So, nutrition is everything. And when you want to get super lean, or you want to lose a lot of weight, you want to fit into a super small size clothing, it depends on the person, of course, but there's going to be sacrifices with that.
Yeah. And everybody's level of leanness that they want to be at is going to be different. Like, there's different stages of it, and like you're saying, like where you have to get super lean is so extreme. But most people they'd be like, men would be happy at 15%. Like have a little outline of abs, and just overall they feel pretty good, and don't have to sacrifice too much. But to get to the single digits, life sucks.
Yep.
Life is going to suck. Food's going to suck. You're going to be tired all the time. And anyway, hormones even come into play at that point. When you start getting them single digits, your hormones they run off fat.
Well, not even that, but like your hormones, like they function properly because of the fuel you give your body. And when you deprive your body of the fuel it needs, eventually it starts like slowing down and shutting processes down because it needs to conserve energy somehow. So the things, like obviously your body has to breathe to survive, so it can't shut down your breathing.
Yeah.
But like hormones, like
reproduction.
Yeah.
You don't want, your sex drive dies.
Exactly. Like, we don't need this. We're not fueled for this.
Like,
so
we cannot raise a young one right now. Like, we can't fend for ourselves. We can't even provide for ourselves.
Yep. So those go. What are some of the sacrifices that you felt you had to make when you were cutting last year? I know we can both probably say similar stuff.
I mean, well, one simple one is time. Like, you're going to have to put more time into your cardio. You're going to have more time into your workouts, more time into all that. So there is a legit like time equation. You're going to have to trade your time, that you would be doing, whether it's relaxing, watching TV, or spending it with your loved ones. You're going to be doing it moving around somewhere. Now, me personally, that wasn't a very huge one. But being able to share those like meals and those fun times, like when you get that lean, like your personality dies a little bit.
It's because there's nothing left.
Like I promise, like my personality dies to a certain degree once I get that lean. Like, it could be the funniest thing in the world, and you're just like, You're just like looking around to see what the appropriate response is. Like, like you definitely, you're like a robot. You are at a robot at that point.
Yeah, in time, like it progressively increases too. So, when you start out, like you're doing work at one level, and because our body adapts, you have to keep changing the stimulus, so your cardio increases, which, takes more time. So as you get further along in your journey and the more adaptations your body makes, the like more time you have to put in because you're fighting like your body's natural response. Like you're starving your body. So your body's natural response is to adapt and slow down. And you're like literally going against your nature to do this.
Yeah. And you lose your strength. You're going to sacrifice strength, endurance, sleep. Sleep's going to be affected by this.
Brain power.
Oh God, the brain fog.
Yeah, the brain fog is real.
I've had there's some embarrassing stories, but we'll save that for another day. There's sacrificing your strength, your sleep, your joy of life to a certain degree. You come out of it like beat up, like just beat down.
Yeah, with the family meals too. So like I know that was a big thing for us last year. So I do all the cooking in our house, and James and I, when we were getting closer to competing, like we were eating like egg whites for dinner or shrimp. We were eating very like lean things with asparagus, and that was pretty much it. But we don't torture our kids and make them eat the same thing all the time. And
those little assholes got to eat whatever they wanted.
They ate whatever they wanted. So like we kept a lot of easy things on hand, but we didn't sit down and have a bunch of like family meals that we shared together, because it's hard to put yourself like around the food and stuff that you want to eat, but like you're focused on your goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like anything. It's almost like a trigger. Like it's easier to stay on plan if you're around things that aren't going to draw you away from that plan, whether in anything in life. So if you're trying to stay away from not unhealthy, but foods that aren't aligned with your goals, then you might want to avoid them. So we're standing in the kitchen eating mustard on asparagus, and the kids are in there eating pizza.
Yeah.
So I just walk by and smell it. Just
take a bite of the chicken.
But you had to spit it back out. You couldn't swallow it. It just kind of just get a little taste. Remember we were looking at like food porn? We sit around just looking at like different types
pictures
of food.
And how good it looked.
Yeah.
Just imagining.
Yeah, food porn's a real thing.
Yeah. So obviously these are like extremes. Like if you have an extreme goal, like you're probably going to run into some extreme methods. Now that's not going to be the case for everybody. Some people can get away with an 80-20 lifestyle, and most people who just want to make lifestyle changes and feel good and strong in their body, it's perfect because there's a level of balance there, like you still want to eat food for nutrients. Like obviously there's benefits to eating nutrient dense food, but you still want to eat some for enjoyment too.
Yeah.
And eating is a very like social thing. A lot of people like go out to dinner with their friends, their family, they have holiday meals together. So having that balance,
it's a love language.
Yeah, having that balance in line with your goals is going to be important because you have to know what you're willing to do. If you, come to us and you're like, I want to drop, 50 pounds, or I really need to drop 50 pounds.
Yeah.
But, you aren't willing to prioritize like nutrient dense foods and like protein goals and just daily movement. Like
alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
Boom. I said it. I know everybody doesn't want to talk about it.
We'll get there in a minute. I'm talking about movement right now.
Okay, my bad. I jumped the gun.
So daily movement, which is a big thing, most of like a large population of our country is obese. And that doesn't just come from eating habits. While it does contribute to it, part of it is the lack of movement in everyday life. So many jobs, you sit on your butt at a desk all day. And then on top of that, you're eating foods that are calorie dense instead of nutrient dense.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting a lot more calories than you realize with not enough movement to balance it out. So you end up gaining and gaining and gaining. And then before you know it, you're like, crap, I need to do something. I'm about to be diabetic. I can't tie my shoes. I can't walk to the end of the driveway without getting winded. Like there's all types of things that you're not even realizing until it hits you, and you're like
30-something years of these things.
Now what do I do?
Yeah, it was a gradual thing,
So lifestyle is a huge, huge factor in all this, and just something as simple as if you work at a desk, getting up every hour and walking for 10 minutes.
That's a huge one. I think that one gets because it's walking.
People
like, walking. They dismiss it.
Yeah,
they
dismiss it.
I walk. I walk to the bathroom, but
they'll go to the gym 7 days a week and wonder why they're not losing weight. But for the rest of the days, like
on ass,
they're sitting on their butts. They're binge watching Netflix. They're doing nothing. And I'm not saying this is everybody. There's different, circumstances for people. But a lot of what we see is just lack of daily movement. We're seeing people, on average get 3,000 steps a day, and
we're struggling to get that.
And that's, that's where you need to start. Like we can start with nutrition too, but you have to be able to increase your movement because that's the only thing that's going to help your body feel better.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of our biggest tools is movement and getting people moving more like they should be, and the huge impact. Like I want to say huge impact because it does. It changes the whole game if you can start implementing that just moving, just walking. And we have clients that work at a desk and do set an alarm to get up and walk, and do workouts on their lunch break, and do these small things. And, they're not going to a gym and doing these like crazy workouts, but they're doing what they can where they are. And it works.
It does work.
It works.
The little stuff works. And it, for somebody who, you know, just wants to feel better in their body, you know, they want to get healthier, they want to lose body fat, like there's nothing wrong with, you know, these little steps. Like these are going to be key to the results. And you can't, if you come and you have a huge goal, you can't get to the big goal until you master these daily behaviors.
And they're key to keeping the results.
Yep.
You know, almost any coach, trainer, whatever, can extreme diet somebody down without teaching them shit. And then as soon as they're no longer working with them, then they just rebound the other way.
Because they didn't learn
Because they didn't learn anything and didn't set any habits in place. And they're not part of their daily routine for them to continue like with progress or to maintain that where they that level of wherever they're at.
Extreme results require extreme methods, which means you have to keep doing those things. Like the results you get, whatever you did to get there, you have to keep doing that stuff to maintain those results. You know, it's just like with like people who follow keto. You know, if you follow keto, like, yeah, you're gonna drop some weight more than likely because you're cutting out a whole macronutrient. You're probably eating more protein, which is the foundation of a diet anyways. You know, you should eat more protein unless you have pre-existing kidney conditions, and you should talk to your doctor.
And you're still in a calorie deficit doing keto.
Yep, and you're in a calorie deficit. But guess what? If you don't really work on those behaviors and you just look at it as a temporary thing, then once you stop that keto diet and you start eating carbs, one, you're going to blow up because water intake. Mm-hmm. When you eat more carbs, you hold more water. Water is considered lean mass. It's not a bad thing. Like you need water. Your body needs water to function. But because you added back in that macronutrient, you're also going to be consuming more calories. So what happens when you're in a calorie surplus? You gain body fat.
Yeah, you blow up. I've watched people jump up, 20 pounds in just a couple of days, easily.
Yeah. So a lot of times, with extreme stuff, it's not a sustainable thing. You might get there temporarily, but it's really hard to stay there. And I can speak on this personally because I got to my quote unquote fittest look ever last year when we competed, but I was not the healthiest. Mm-mm. I was not happy. I was miserable. I was tired. I looked great. Yeah. All my clothes were way too big for me, but it's not where I was good. My hormones were crap and energy levels were crap, strength, crap. Like everything about me was just not me.
Yeah. I think everybody does, or a lot of people don't realize when you look your best, you feel your worst. Yeah. When it comes to that, the leanness, like, oh, it looks really cool in pictures, but you're dying inside, it feels like.
Yes, definitely. And what else was I going to say?
The cost of getting lean. I don't know. The cost of getting lean with James and Brittany. Coach James, Coach Brittany, back in the lab.
Well, we were talking about, feeling like crap. Finding that happy medium is really what's important.
It definitely is. Like, and I personally have worked on where am I comfortably at, and looking at it very without emotionally getting to it, because I like to eat. I like fun foods too.
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tarts.
James can't have Pop-Tarts in the house because he gets up in the middle of the night.
Bro, I ate 5 Pop-Tarts.
Walks to Pop-Tarts.
I ate 5 Pop-Tarts. But where am I comfortable at? Where do I feel my best? Where do I perform my best? And where's that happy medium where I'm okay with how I look and feel and how I perform, and sometimes that's a little bit on a sliding scale depending on when. But I know I like the way that I look, and I was going back through pictures from before and seeing myself that lean at that around 5%. Looks really cool. Looks really cool, bro. But what you don't see when I'm not don't have a pump in the gym is that I feel tiny. I feel small in my clothes. And as a guy, like, that's not a cool feeling, honestly. Um, and then, you know, like, I'm just wore out. Like, I don't want to do anything. I also lost a little bit of my love for working out, getting that lean. I don't know if
Because it becomes like a job.
Yeah, because working out's like an escape for me. It's therapeutic. It's healthy for me to work through frustrations or good things. Like it's a good outlet for me. And if I found that going those extremes to that extreme lean, I lose that outlet to an extent. It's an obligation at that point near the end, and that scares me a little bit. Anyway, that's a little therapy talk. I need to get off here, boy.
Well, I don't think you're alone there because we've talked about this before. Like I feel the same way, you know. I used to be obese and fitness was like my passion. You know, it was something that I had for me. It was an outlet, like an escape from life. And, you know, when we started competing, it was exciting at first because it's like, yes, this new challenge. Like I love challenging myself. And I still like, I love the process of prep because it's such a challenge. And you prove to yourself like what you're capable of, like with discipline, you know?
Yeah.
But when you get that far into it and, you know, you are that lean, you're like, I don't want to do this. I really just want to go sleep for like 6 days.
Yeah.
Like I want to go eat a lot of food and put myself into a coma and sleep for 6 days.
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. It is. I mean, like you said, you find what you're made of. Like the challenge is what I like about it. Like I could care less about the being on stage. Like I'm very introverted anyway. So like when tension's all on me, sometimes I'm just like, don't look at me. But it's like the process. So I like the challenge part of it, but it comes at a high price.
It does.
It comes at a very high price, and it's expensive to do shows.
It is expensive to do shows. But bringing it back to our original topic, like talking to clients and stuff, you know, we just want everyone to understand, like when you have this goal set in your mind, that with that goal, that outcome goal, there comes a list of behaviors that you have to accomplish to be able to get to that outcome goal. If you're not willing to do these behavioral goals and stay consistent with them, then you're never going to get to the outcome goal.
Yeah.
Like that is the real truth. That is the honest truth. You know, you can't shortcut it. This isn't something that you can just buy. Like you can, and this is something that happens too. You can hire a coach, but just because you hire a coach, it doesn't mean you're going to get results.
Yeah.
Like you have to be willing to do the work. Yeah. And if you're not willing to do the work, the results aren't going to come.
Not at all.
And that's not the coach's fault. You know, 9 times out of 10, like it's because you're not willing to do the work, the little stuff.
And it's hard and it's frustrating and tugs at my heart because when you know, like this person can do something, like physically can do it. And you've, in the beginning, when they've told you like what they want, their goal and why they want this goal. And like you empathize and you really feel for them. And like, and you know, like just these little things. And there's despite what you say and do, some people just don't want to, you know. And no matter what tricks I try to pull and motivating or tough love or anything, like you really can't ever make somebody do something they don't want to do. And
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Drink, motherfucker.
Waterboard him, drink it. No. It is frustrating because it's like, it's so simple. Like it is that simple. Like a lot of times people will like, well, okay, but can you give me something harder? Can you change my workouts? Like,
it doesn't have to be harder.
It doesn't have to be harder. You have to go harder. You have to push yourself harder. If you're not willing, if you go into the gym and you're just going through the motions, you're hitting, 12, 12, 12 on your reps, every single set, every workout, you ain't pushing yourself.
Yeah.
You are not pushing yourself. You are just going through the motions. You're not challenging yourself. You're not giving it your best effort. you're doing the bare minimum, and the bare minimum gets you bare minimum results.
Like I like to see that on video. I think next time that happens, I'm like, hey, next time video that for me and send it to me. I want to see you do these 12.
Yeah.
And if it's very easy, then
and a lot of times just going through like a client's workouts, like we can tell, when they're not pushing themselves. Like I said, when every rep range is maxed out and it's the same through the whole workout, like did your heart rate even go up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then they rate the workout like a 4.
Yeah.
3. It wasn't too hard.
Like if you're not training close to failure, then that's a you problem.
Yeah, I can do one set of push-ups and I can make that thing a 10 right now just by slowing things down, pushing yourself to just push yourself as hard as you can.
And workouts aren't going to be responsible for your fat loss. Like if fat loss is your goal, everything else you do is going to be more important, but the workouts are going to be important for building muscle, which helps your metabolism, helps you have more lean mass,
which burns more calories.
It helps you look leaner, more fit. If you're just doing cardio, you're not building any muscle.
Mm-hmm. The more muscle you have, less injuries. Like as you age,
exactly.
That's what your muscles do. They protect your body.
So that is the purpose of workouts. Now your nutrition is responsible for your fat loss, is responsible for your gains, if that's what your goal is. You can't skirt around that. And your compliance with these two things are important. Like with your workouts, if you only complete 25 to 50% of your workouts and you want a new program, it doesn't work that way. You haven't even properly progressively overloaded through the current phase and you want something new. Thinking that something new, the next shiny thing is going to help you push through it more, but it's not. If you can't master this basic right here in front of you, the shiny new thing isn't going to help. Behavior change at the root of all things.
There's always some newer thing that's actually what's actually going to get you the results. That's what a lot of people think. With anything, this new product says, "Oh, I gotta have it because that's how I'm gonna lose weight."
Yeah.
This new fad diet. That's the secret.
Fat burners, teas, gummies. I saw this thing on Facebook. It was like, who wants to take these 2 gummies and lose 30 to 30 pounds in the next 60 days?
I would. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be great if it was real, but it's not. Taking 2 gummies is not gonna help you lose fat.
And some of those products, if you look on the back of it, it says for those results has to go along with 1,100 calorie diet or 1,000 calorie diet or whatever, some extreme bullshit that nobody should do.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not really the product. You're starving.
So set realistic expectations for yourself. If you have a big goal, then understand you're going to have to do big things to get there, and there's no working around that.
It takes time.
It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes discipline. If you are not willing to get uncomfortable, then you will not get there. And you need to have that conversation with yourself.
And fall in love with the process. Being uncomfortable is okay. When I'm uncomfortable, it's like, okay, I'm learning something. I'm changing. There's something changing about right now because this is something I normally wouldn't do. Whatever that is. I'm pushing myself in this aspect of my life or that aspect, it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but I fell in love with challenging myself. And I know that's what kind of generic to say, but I like that. I like not being 100% sure of my own limitations. Being uncomfortable makes me better.
I can agree with that. I know that I'm onto something when I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, if I'm too comfortable, then I'm stagnant.
And the reward is doing it.
Yeah,
it's I did that. Yeah,
the best part of it is you can't buy it. You can't go to the store and get abs like you were talking about.
Well, in workouts, right? A lot of people will be like, "I'm too tired to work out." Well, that's the discomfort, right?
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about skipping your workout or skipping your daily walk, to increase your steps or maybe that hour comes and it's time for you to get up and walk around your office so you get some movement in. You're like, I'll just skip it this time and double up next time. Like, that's the wrong mindset. Like, you're already choosing the more comfortable option. The discomfort would be to get up and do it even though you don't want to.
Yeah.
Because it's not what's comfortable.
And this society or the human nature of avoiding being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
you can do hard things.
Yeah. It's like, oh, no, this is new. This is not comfortable. I'm in danger. You're not. It's just walking.
Yeah.
It's just walking.
It's just walking when you would rather sit and play on your phone, play that game on your phone, or play the game on the TV, or binge watch that Netflix show, or take a nap. You know, I'm not saying don't ever do those things. I'm saying do those things, but know that you still need to get movement in.
Yeah. Guess what?
I still watch Netflix.
You can be on Netflix while you walk. You can text while you walk. You can listen to watch shows.
I get on the treadmill every morning and I read.
Yeah.
On my Kindle. I set my Kindle up and I get my steps in every morning. And I do that because I know that I'm sedentary. I work from home. I sit at a desk most of the day and I don't get a lot of steps in if I'm not intentional. So I get up first thing in the morning, loosen up my body, take some steps while I read my Kindle and drink an energy drink. That's my routine.
Yep.
And I've been doing that all year.
So you found what works for you.
Every day this year, that is what I've done. And I've had less back problems this year than I normally have.
That's extremes.
You know, I've been able, like my training, I dialed my training back and that helped also like with my injury rate because I'm recovering better. And just the movement alone is helping like my back issues.
Yeah. Your relationship with working out has been better this year too. Like, and I think part of that was with the dialing back and all those things, like everything you got to so balanced and you've got your routine that works best for you. Like you said, because you're home and work from home and all these things, like it's just dialing in what works best for your lifestyle and your life.
Yeah.
And your goals.
Like last year in prep, when I had to walk for so long, like I hated it.
I know.
It was something I despised, but I really look forward to my morning walks. It starts my day off really good.
I remember sitting beside you, beside the treadmill, holding your hand while you walked.
Eating your carbs.
Look, I can't help it.
Okay, we're getting away from the topic here. But this was a pretty long, lengthy episode.
This was great.
But, you know, just to summarize again, like, just know that your goals, whatever they are, there's a cost associated with them. That cost might be low, it might be high. And you need to have that, like, realistic conversation with yourself and have realistic expectations as well.
Yeah, and check out our Client Resource Center.
Yeah.
for all kinds of great stuff that could help you along your journey, whatever it is, whether it's gaining, losing, leaning, getting stronger.
Trying new things in the kitchen.
Yes.
Yes.
Food.
Yes.
Love it.
Awesome. So,
till next time.
Yep.
I'm James.
Thanks for listening to Macros, Mindset, and Muscles. Until next time.
I'm James.
I'm Brittany. We're out.